It's an off week for Alabama, but that doesn't mean it's an off week for us. But it is a fun week for us because we get to relax a little bit and there's no football game. One thing I wanted to do, though, was talk to you guys on this show. And so many of you get in the comments section and make your opinions heard, and that's what it's all about, your 2 cents and my 2 cents, and sharing that here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. So what we're going to do today is read a couple of your comments and talk about them. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Like and subscribe. Show's brought to you by the great people at Pearl River Resort. Let's get this thing going. All right, what do you say, everybody? Mick Gillespie, welcome to the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. Like and subscribe, thumbs up, hit the bell, man. I know that's a lot to ask of an Auburn fan, but you Alabama people can do that, and I don't have to slow that down for you as well. And get in the comments section. That's what today's show's all about, and I want to talk a little bit about the comments because I want to tell you how much I appreciate you for being here and talking Alabama football, and also, obviously it has been really a difficult time with the loss of my teammate, my best friend, Big Sexy Elmo, Brett Elmore. Miss him so much. And your comments have been therapeutic. So we'll talk about that. But let's just kind of get into some comments. I want to, and then we'll talk about Brett at the end. All right. Here's the first one I wanted to bring up. And I love it when, and I always invite everybody, I always invite everybody to jump in and say what they want to say. And here's one this is from Adam Watson 7888. He said, and I think this one's a good one. Okay. And I know some of you guys are going to cringe when I start to read this, but I have to say, I appreciate y'all that y'all have been for Milroe all year long. Y'all been consistent and not turn your back on him after having a bad game. I was one of his biggest critics for Milroe last year, and I decided to support him this year no matter what. The team supports him, and the staff does too, so they ain't going to take him out. Anyways, just wanted to drop a message of appreciation for support, for y'all sticking with Milroe and not wanting to crucify him after a couple of bad games. He's the best option we have, and it's going to be time, and it's going to take time to get our team right. DeBoer has to get his players in for sure. I remember the DeBose days and the Shula days, so this ain't the end of the world for sure. We're going to be all right. Probably not this year, but we will be in a couple years. Just my opinion. Roll Tide regardless. Well, thank you, Adam, for the comments. And, man, I'm not giving up on this season yet. Now, I know that some of you guys that watch Cover Crimson were a little upset that, I was kind of critical of Alabama after the 34-0 win. And basically, I was just saying, look, we're right here. Okay. And I am not advocating for Milroe to be taken out. And I'm with you. I just don't think that I don't think there's another option. I think he's the guy, and you have to work with him. I felt like he could be injured, and I might be wrong. Okay. I'm just telling you guys out right now. Could be wrong. I probably am, but I don't know. They're not going to disclose that. He doesn't look like the same player. But he started to come out of it in the second half of the Missouri game. Milroe has to run the football to be effective. That's his thing. He can throw the ball deep. Against Georgia, we saw that, hey, the guy can actually throw some mid-range passes too. He's got a lot of ability. His confidence might be shaken. After the Vanderbilt game, he threw the pick six on the deflected ball. Without Kendrick Law, that takes a big weapon away. Kobe Prentice dealing with injuries. Ryan Williams is electric, but he's got a lot of learning to do. So it's good to see Jeremy Bernard kind of be that guy that he can count on. The receiver that's starting to step up, and now Law's back. Williams is always going to be a home run threat, but at the same time, there's just things that he's just not good at yet. And some of his routes aren't crisp. Some of them, are getting better. But, I mean, you're not going to be a high school student and just step right in and get it all. And the guy's got amazing ability, and he's still one of the best players in the SEC, which is amazing. But Milroe's got to run the ball. He's the option. And you're right. The team rallied behind him, and it's his team, So, I was at the beginning of last year, I didn't know. And it's going to be the same situation when he goes on to the NFL after this year, where you look around and you're like, is it Ty Simpson? Is it someone else? Could someone else, Dylan Lonergan, is he going to fight for that job? Somebody going to transfer in? Is it Austin Mack? I mean, you just don't know, because that's the way that this thing works. You go to camp, you battle it out. But Milroe won the team over. For you guys that don't like him, you just got to fit. You got 4 more games and hopefully the playoffs to have him prove you wrong, or maybe you get proven right. But you're right. I've stuck behind him, and I'm going down with the Milroe ship. I guess that's just the best way of saying it. And Jake Coker too. And I'm going to talk about this as well when we kind of get into the show that we do on Sunday. Jake and I record a radio show that plays in Mobile. We do it Sunday and it plays Monday, because I've got the show on Cover Crimson at the same time. So to make them both work, to be on 2 places at once, we just record that. I throw it up here for you guys. So some of the comments are like, hey, like I'm looking at Coker's face and you're like, relax. It's really not a digital show, but you guys like watching. So it's like a podcast, kind of that way. We're getting him set up with some better equipment so that maybe he can actually, have, when he's at home, that real good focus on there. But I think he does a great job, by the way. I think he is a fantastic partner, and I enjoy hanging out with him every day. All right. So here's one that kind of it addresses our Sunday, what you guys probably saw Sunday or Monday. What kind of title is this? Sloppy win? Why do you guys keep giving Missouri these talking points? Because they were hurt. They may have been, but guess what? If most of our players were hurt and they had won, do you think they would be downplaying the victory? No. They would be saying we went to Tuscaloosa and dominated Bama. Bama wins, still not good enough. Bama losses, then the sky is falling. Bipolar fans go to Auburn. All right, look. This is one of those comments that kind of addresses like what I was saying before about, being honest. And I don't even want to say like objective, because I try to be objective. I think you guys know that. You can't always, as Paul Feinbaum says, and I'm not a big Feinbaum watcher or listener, but to have the rose-colored glasses. There's issues with this team. You can go back and watch yesterday's video. I'm talking about the 3 things it's going to take for Alabama to win out, to run the table. And it's, better on third downs, both offensively and defensively. Milroe's got to run the football. He's got to run it. He can't not run it. He's got to run it. He's got to get big gash runs. That's his weapon. He's got to use it. And then the team needs to be disciplined. Now, it was a sloppy win to me. The first half wasn't good enough. We were 2 for 9 in third downs. We had 100 yards of penalties. These things have to improve. And Drew Pine threw 3 interceptions, and they weren't great interceptions. With that said, hey, I'm taking it. And I love the intensity that the defense brought in the fourth quarter to keep that shutout. And every win matters. Look, the alternative stinks, right? Losing to Vanderbilt, to Tennessee. We lose to LSU next game. Doesn't mean that we need to go to Auburn because, we're not happy with the win. We are happy with the win. But what we're not happy about is all of the little things that it takes to be a champion. And the reason we know that is because we've seen a lot of championships, and those teams don't make those type of mistakes. It doesn't mean that Alabama's not going to win a championship. What I'm saying is that they've got to clean that stuff up. So great win, but it wasn't perfect. You're never going to be perfect, but they've got to get more disciplined. They've got to clean up that third down problem, and Milroe's got to run the ball more effectively for them to win the national championship. But I love your comment, and I appreciate you for jumping on and talking to us, because that's what it's all about. Now, I did the show about the referees, and I hate this. The first time I've ever done a referee show, but I had to because it's getting awful. I mean, it is getting terrible. And everybody agreed. I didn't see anybody saying, man, this referee shows BS. These guys are amazing. They're doing the best job they can do. I think everybody feels the same way. It's terrible. And I talk about that Tennessee game in Knoxville in 22 a lot because I really feel like the officials were out there trying to make sure that Bama didn't cover the spread. And that's just my opinion. And you could disagree with that or you could agree with that, but it smelt like sour milk to me. It stunk. And I'll say that forever. And it changed my perspective on officiating. And I thought the FBI ought to investigate that game. Bama had a bunch of bad calls this year in Knoxville, but so did Tennessee as well. I mean, maybe more on us than them, but it didn't feel like the officiating from that game where everybody involved was looking at it and going, "You got to be kidding me." But I thought this was one of my favorite comments about that game in 2022, and it's from a guy that is not even an Alabama fan. He's an Oklahoma fan. He said, I completely agree about the refs causing Bama the game in Knoxville in 22. I'm not even a Bama fan saying it. I live in Norman, Oklahoma. And I'm an OU fan, and I went to school at OU. I have no dog in the fight. I remember that game. I was like, man, Bama just got robbed. I had a buddy, and thank you, Armor and Shield 6434 for your comment, and all you guys for commenting. I had a friend of mine who worked for a Major League Baseball team, and he was on a plane with the team, and everybody was watching the game on the flight. And the calls in that game were so horrendous, and it was so lopsided, and it was so obvious that something was going on. He said the entire plane, and this team isn't even in a college football town, really didn't have like college, there no dog in the fight type thing. And he goes, it was unbelievable. Everybody, that's what they talked about the whole flight. Like that game was fixed. And that's a shame, and I only watch Alabama and then, occasionally other games, but I mean, I'm an Alabama guy. That game changed my perspective on the entire world of officiating. And I got into some arguments on some different shows about it, but I'm not changing my opinion. That's what my gut feeling told me that. And look, it's water under the bridge now. Honestly, I didn't think that the officiating cost Alabama the game this year. We just didn't play well. We didn't do the things we needed to do. And look, Tennessee made a bunch of great plays in that game too, but it was just the timing of some of those calls and how lopsided it was in that game. It's eye-opening. And you just wonder, with everything going on now in the world of sports gambling, which I like. I mean, look, I'm a part of it, but you have to protect the people that are going out there and wagering money, because that's a way to steal money, is if the officials aren't doing their job right, or the players throw the game, or whatever. So it's happened in the past. I don't have any evidence. Like, I might be totally wrong, but my gut feeling tells me that. Okay. And I just think that the entire world of officiating would be better if you just paid these guys more and you got the best of the best. I'm not saying paying the same guys more makes a difference, not throwing money at it. I'm saying, hey man, let's train and get the best officials we can get. Let's buy them out of the NFL. Why not? I mean, come on. So anyway, that was a great comment. Now, the last thing I want to say is I got a ton of comments from you guys when Brett died, and they meant so much to me. I could come on here and talk about him every day because I miss him so much. It's still hard for me to believe, and I know it's hard for you guys to believe too. And you've asked me if I'll play his intro, which I'll do today on the show. And honestly, the only reason I'm not even going to read them is because I don't want to get emotional again thinking about it. It's just the way that life is. Sometimes the people you love the most get taken away when you least expect it. But we all loved him, and he made us laugh, and he was a kind-hearted person, and he's greatly missed, and it sucks. But, all of you guys that have gotten into the comment section, and I mean guys and gals, but all of you that have talked about what a laugh from him meant to you, and how he would brighten your day up, or your kids singing his intro to school and stuff like that, man. It really has been one of the things that keeps you going when you go through something like this. So, we're still dealing with it. Keep praying for his family. And thank you guys for everything. So we'll do this again. This is a perfect bye-week show. No tailgate show this week, but we will be at the Floor Bama, the big Floor Bama, next Friday from 1 to 4 with the tailgate show. So that's going to be fun. Down on the line, man. Doing it down on the line. We'll have to get some Snake Stabler stories for you, because remember, that was his old hangout as well, his old haunt. So roll tide, everybody. Thanks. Keep the comments coming. Thumbs up, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and roll tide. We'll talk to you again soon. Hey, a couple things, though, before we get out of here. I want to remind you of this. NewLifeArt.com. Pimp out your man cave, and you can do that with the promo code Bama Tailgate. You get 20% off of your prints, off your mugs, off of anything that's not the newest stuff. The stuff that just comes out, they have different deals for that, but everything else is covered with your Bama Tailgate promo code. So take advantage of that. NewLifeArt.com. I'm going to tell you, I absolutely love these pictures. I was in the studio with Jake. We did a show the other day, and the sound didn't work. So that's why you guys didn't see it. There was a glitch in the program that we use, and he was here with one of his buddies, and I went through and told him about every one of these prints, because he was an Ole Miss fan, But love them. You guys love them as well. And I've got the wall of champions over here, all the Nick Saban championship prints, and then my Antoine Petway from the layup winning basketball in 2002. But take advantage of that promo code Bama Tailgate, and that's a great 20% discount. And also, we're setting up now to do the Oklahoma show at Pearl River Resort. The Timeout Sports Lounge is in Golden Moon Casino. 20 big screen TVs, got a full bar in there. You got table games and slots. You got roulette, those big sexy Elmo's favorite game. You got the Dancing Rabbit Golf Course, which is the Augusta you can play in. If you spend $50 at the sports book, you can play that for $40. So all of that stuff right there at Pearl River Resort. Water Park, Geyser Falls, spa, some great concerts coming up, including Scotty McCreery, which is in November, the former American Idol. So check it all out. Pearl River Resort. We appreciate you guys, and we will talk to you again soon. Roll Tide, everybody.
To Pearl River Resort.